Welcome to Past, Present, Future, the Full Circle podcast, where we ask questions that nobody else wants to ask, but that you want the answers to. Please subscribe, share, and drop a comment so we know you were there. Well, we'll get into it. So, Past, Present, Future, episode 21, as
Congrats,
I just said.
bro.
So, we are here with a star in his own right, Nathan Hector. So,
Yes.
as always, I'd love to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to probably the few people that don't know who you are, and then we can kind of go through the past, present, future journey from there.
Yeah, man. My name's Nathan Hector. Born and bred in East London. I'm an actor and a host and an entertainer. And yeah, whatever else comes with this job that I've created for myself, yeah.
I was going to say
Yeah,
multi-talented or multi-faceted is probably like the couple of words to describe what you do.
I do a couple of bits and bobs as well, like away from just the kind of behind the scenes stuff as well. So yeah, a lot of putting things together and putting people together and watching them blossom. So yeah,
No, it's a beautiful thing. And you mentioned within your like initial explanation intro there that you grew up in East London.
Yeah.
So obviously I've done my research, I knew that, but like from your perspective, how was growing up in East London?
You know what? It was calm, man. I grew up in a place called Chingford, which is in a borough called Waltham Forest. So the borough is made up of 5 different areas. Chingford, Hines Park, Walthamstow, Leighton and Leytonstone. And then the next borough is the borough of Newham, that's like Stratford, Custom House, XYZ. But yeah, man, it was super calm. Where I live was quite predominantly white growing up. And then like it was mixed with like black people, Turkish, Asian, Spanish, and whatever else. So it was predominantly white, but then it was also mixed as well. And it was mad because I grew up with like normal black guys, and then just down the road there was Chingford Estate, and there was not so much good people on that estate. Gangs, XYZ. And then you would have like your Cockney white boys, and then your quote unquote urban white boys, and then the gang members. So it was just a mix up of different people, you know. And yeah, I fell into the normal category of people that grew up in the area, you know. So yeah.
What was it like being in a predominantly white area, as you put it?
I definitely experienced like microaggression, like racism from a young age, like in school.
What would you define microaggression?
Like just little things like, so Tom over there would see me, Nath, where's my phone? Just little things like that, like, but they're learning that from their parents. Where else are they gonna get that from? You know what I'm saying to you? So, but it was calm, man. I kind of learned how to handle myself in both environments. I can walk into a pub and be comfortable, and I can walk into a house party full of black boys with bandanas on and be comfortable, you know? So, yeah, I got the best of both worlds, which was nice. So, yeah.
I think that probably positively enhances you in your life today because you're comfortable in any situation and you can kind of put that practice in your early years into real life now, which is super special.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But I wanted to get into, and unfortunately, from my perspective anyway, this is like a topic which seems to be quite consistent with the episodes that we're filming. So you self-confessed, you come to me and you said you grew up as a fatherless child, as T.E.D. Ness would put it, and that's something that he went through. So I wondered what your take on that situation was.
What, my own personal situation? I just always remember him not being there, but he was also within my reach as well. But from an early age, I kind of accepted, that's it, he doesn't want anything to do with me. Obviously, it's different now because we're both adults and you can't pull the wool over my eyes anymore because I'm not 10 years old, you know? But I think I was just so used to having my mum and my nan there that growing up, it's like I wanted a dad there, but then I didn't because I didn't know what it was like to have a dad. But all my cousins and my friends, all their dads were around. So it's just like, okay, cool, where's mine? Where's my dad kind of thing.
And how'd that make you feel?
As a child, not so great, I guess. I'd go through like waves of emotions. I remember being in my nan's car with my cousin. I must have been about 9, 10, and my cousin might have been about maybe 6 or 7, maybe, or 8, maybe something like that. We was young, we were super young. It's before we were teenagers. And I remember my cousin just kept going on about his dad, and his dad is my dad's brother. So we're first cousins on my dad's side, and then we're second cousins on my mum's side. Long story. But I remember him going on about his dad and XYZ, and I just burst into tears. I just remember bursting into tears, and my nan pulled the car over, and she like told me to step out the car, and just started saying, "Well, where's my dad? Well, why haven't I got a dad?" kind of thing. And then she was just like, like, don't worry about your dad because you've got me, kind of thing. And that's just like one painful car journey that I've never forgot, you know. I wouldn't speak about it like every day, but yeah, we're here now, innit? So I can speak on this. But yeah, as a child, it was horrible, man. Like the amount of birthdays he said he would come to, and I'll just like kind of stand by the window hoping he would come, and he never turned up, and it kind of just made me realize, okay, cool, that's it, innit? You know what I mean? And then I got to 18 and we tried to have that where the fuck have you been, am I allowed to swear? Cool. Where the fuck have you been conversation when I was like 18. And I think I went into the conversation quite ignorant and wanting all the answers there and then, but I just wasn't, the answers I wanted from him, he wasn't ready to give me. So I just kind of just shut it off and just like, you know what, if you're not going to give me the answers I want, then let's just forget it. You know what I mean? And then it was kind of rocky up until about maybe 2-3 years ago. And then we finally had the conversation. I spoke to my mum, and she was like, look, she's never, and it's crazy because my mum has never stopped me from having a relationship with my dad. She's always encouraged me, I want you to have a relationship with your dad. But I'd say I got to about 11 and I thought, you know what, fuck this guy. It's dead. I mean, the amount of birthdays, Christmases that you've missed, it's just like at this point, there's no point, you know? And obviously now I'm a man, I just realized there were kids that had a kid and they're human, and it just is what it is, you know? But what I've learned is that, what I've learned from that is what kind of father I want to be when I have my kids, you know? And yeah, we're cool. We're cool now, man. So yeah, I think that it's taken a long time to get here with him, and the whole trust thing with him is still slowly but surely building, you know. But yeah, it hurt as a kid. Yeah.
It's funny because the situation that you described there, where you're waiting by the window, it almost sounds as if it is the lyrics which is pulled from the Cadet Behind Bars.
Yeah.
So, which is,
and when I heard R.I.P. my brother Cadet, when I heard that, was it Behind Bars? Isn't it?
It was Behind Bars.
I cried.
Yeah,
I cried for sure.
How accurate is that?
Ridiculously accurate, you know. So yeah, I got that exact bar. I get it. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's gonna come. No show.
How much worse does that make it when it's like, not the promise, but I guess like the false hope of, he said he's going to come, rather than just knowing he's not coming.
Well, as a kid, you believe your parents, innit? You know what I mean? And by the age of 11, I just kind of stopped believing anything he would say to me, you know? I think that throughout my teens now, I think I just became very just blasé about him. Anyone would bring him up, don't chat to me about him. Who's that? I don't know who that is. Allow it. I don't want to know. You know, and he then became this distant person that I'll just bump into, you know, because he works on the underground. So he's someone that I'll just bump into from time to time. And I remember one time I was with my mum who was going somewhere, and I bumped into him, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna come see you soon. And I just looked at him. I just shook my head, looked at my phone, and just walked. I had nothing to say at that point, you know, because at this point I'm 15, 16. I'm not 10 years old no more. I'm a teenager, and by that time I had already seen, within that 6 years, I had already seen a lot in my life. So I don't know who you think you're kidding, because me and you both know you're not coming nowhere. Then anyway, now it's different. Like when he says he's pulling up, he'll actually pull up, and if he's not coming, he'll call and say, you know, say he's not. So yeah, man, I think he's kind of seen what kind of job my mum and my nan have done with me and the rest of my family, and I guess he's kind of seen that what he's kind of missed out on, you know. But I can't fault him no more, man. There's no point in starting a new relationship if you're gonna hold grudges and continue to hold grudges, man. There's too much energy. You know what I'm saying? So I forgave him, and I forgive him, you know. And it is what it is. You know, you can't turn back the clocks and change what's already been done. So
yeah,
just keep it moving, you know.
No, for sure. And I think sometimes forgiving other people is partly forgiving yourself as well as getting rid of those emotions, releasing them, and then you can move forward and do what you want to do. So actually, kind of that healing process is forgiving someone else is providing forgiveness for yourself. So it's really powerful.
For sure, man.
I wondered, so within that answer that you gave, you said like you were 16, you bumped into him, and then you went on to say, at that point, I'd seen a lot, I'd been through a lot, like I don't know who you're kidding. Yeah. When you said you'd seen a lot, what were you referring to?
Just things in my life, man, just things in my area. I'd like just be like, for instance, being in house parties and just people shooting through the windows and just mad things, like watching my friend's mum take drugs, but at the time I didn't know that was the case. Being chased by other people from other areas with knives. Just a lot of different things that from a young age that I saw built my character. You know what I mean? And then you see your friends going to jail, or you hear about that one over there passing away by getting stabbed, or just there was just a lot going on around that time. I'd say from the age of 13 till about 19, 20, I saw a hell of a lot of things that I kind of normalized, and now I'm coming to the end of my 20s, I've realized none of that shit was normal, and it's mad. Like, yeah, it's just not normal. We need to not normalize certain things, you know. But it is what it is. I'm glad I experienced all of that stuff, you know.
What was the most painful moment?
Probably losing my brother Wayne, my big brother Wayne. He wasn't my blood brother, but he's someone that looked after me for a good 4 years of my life. From the age of about 15, 16 till about 17, 18 maybe, 19, something like that. But he was prominent for me towards the end, like towards the end of my teens. You know, and he died August 2011. August 2011 he died, yeah. August the 6th, 2011. And yeah, that weren't pretty at all. He got shot in South London. Yeah. Yeah, that weren't. I think at that moment I just said, you know what? I need to just take the path. I was already on the right path at that point. But I feel like that happening at that moment just kind of
cemented your vision for...
Yeah. He's actually my pass my phone? He's actually my wallpaper, please. On my phone. There we go. Yeah, that's Wayne there. My boy. Zoom in on this superstar. Wayne's Swagger Star Cartel. It's my boy right there, but yeah. That was like my big brother, man. I think growing up where I grew up, I didn't have a lot of older people to look up to.
And role models. Obviously your dad.
I didn't at all, so he was like my guy. Like, Nath, come. Do you know what I'm saying? Ralph Lauren polo, big silver chain, aqua, what? That was my guy. That was like my big brother, literally. And he literally took me under his wing at a young age because I was promoting in the West End. So I met him. I used to promote in a club called Stanza and Bar Ramba and Storm and Penthouse and all these clubs in the West End. I was about 15, 16. And he literally just took me under his wing. And I met him and his boy Nabi, we called him Drake. So they were like Wayne and Drake together. And then used to call me Little Wayne still. Because I was literally, anything I would see him do, I would like imitate literally. The way he walks, the way he would talk. Like he would give me his chain to wear at that age as well. And I was like, he was like, what, maybe a year or two older than me, but like you just wouldn't think that the way he was moving, you know? And it's just, so that's probably the most, one of the most painful things,
No, well, thank you for going into it. I know that it's not hard to obviously speak about such traumatic events, but it's part of what we pride ourselves on as a podcast is having these difficult conversations that hopefully can influence others in a positive light and show them that you can go through these things and end up where you are today. So it's testament to your character. But yeah, thank you for going into it. I wanted to speak a little bit about self-belief. And for someone like yourself who essentially has taken, I would say, a role that is not glamorized, and the role that you take is not normally the superstar that you are, and you've made it that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about self-belief and where do you think that was birthed from?
You know what, I just think that I have always had a point to prove. So from a young age, I was misbehaved. I've got ADHD, so I was always the excited kid and just the nuisance and the kid that was always getting in trouble and the kid that was always getting licks and the kid that was always in trouble in school and in college. And it's just never been straightforward with Nathan Hector. It's always something, you know? So I feel like when I started on my journey, I was an extra. I was a T-boy. I used to fetch teas for other actors. Then I was an extra. Then I was an actor acting in online short movies and music videos and XYZ. Then I woke up one day and said, you know what? I want to become a host. And while everyone was going right, I just went left. And I feel like of all the times that I was picked on in school, of all the times that I was bantered or quote unquote joked at and laughed at, of all the times that people in my family wouldn't take me serious, and probably maybe some of them still don't now, but I don't really give a shit. I think that's where I feel like I've got a point to prove. I've got a chip on my shoulder. Like, you're gonna take me serious. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I think that's kind of where it stems from. And I feel like I come from a very humble family. Like most people in my family are very they're just cool in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that they don't believe in themselves, but when I talk my talk, it almost comes across as arrogant because they are not like me. Sure. Like my mum and my nan will not stand up in front of 2,000 people and make them jump up and down. So it's just like, and neither will my uncles or any of my aunts or any of my cousins, probably not. So it's just like, where does that come from? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I do know that I feel like I've got a point to prove, and I'll probably forever feel like that because of my experiences as a child and probably being mocked. And
what for?
Just, you know when you're the excited kid, people feel like they can take the piss, and they feel like you're not as switched on as you make out to be. You know what I'm saying to you? So as I've gotten older, especially from my late teens into my early 20s, I became a lot more switched on and clocked that not everyone is actually joking with you. They're making it out like they're joking with you, but that's what they really mean. You know? All that banter that people have for you, there's some truth disguised in that. You know, and that's them trying to pick at you and do little things. And I was experiencing that from a young age, but I just wasn't clocking it. You know what I mean? And then as I've gotten older, I've just nipped that in the bud and been like, nah. No, I'm not having it. No chance. Like, you're not going to take the piss out of me. You know what I mean? And I feel like I think nowadays, I don't need to argue with anyone, man. I just play the fool to the fool that thinks they can fool me. I don't, all this arguing back and forth. And who's got time? I don't have time. It's 2022, man. There's all this back and forth. I genuinely don't have time, man. You know, so I think that self-belief just comes from me just telling myself, like, don't second guess yourself. Don't allow anyone that isn't walking the same path as you to second guess yourself. I walk my own path, you know, and as Jay-Z said in one interview that I watched, funnily enough this morning, like everyone would tell you how it worked out for them. Yeah, cool. That's cool for you. It worked out for you that way. That's not everyone's way. You know what I'm saying to you? So, yeah, man, I feel like everyone has got a path set out for them and we're just walking in that path, you know? And yeah, that's just what it is.
Yeah. So really, it's a fire in the belly that's been birthed from people.
Yeah, and I was 3 months premature. Like I came into the world fighting anyway. You know, lung failure, heart failure, something wrong with my kidneys. My heart stopped beating twice. Melangitis, all kinds of madnesses. I had tubes up my nose till I was about 2 or 3. Like really and truly, I'm really not meant to be here. So I just like.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, whatever I'm doing, I just make the most of it, you know, because this life is not promised. I've been to way too many funerals. This life is not promised, and we're all going one place after this anyway, so, yeah.
Well, it's taken you to a pretty good place. So, obviously, I've done my research. So you did on that one tour, so it's 35 shows, 10 cities, 3 countries. And that is... I would like the crazy thing, I'll be transparent, right, okay? So when I was doing my research, and obviously I was like, actor, host, this, that, and the other, I was like, it looks like a headline star. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at that poster and it's like, oh, okay, like it's as if M. Huncho was going and selling out these days. That's how it's kind of, I guess, marketed. So you are the star selling out these shows and it's like a tour for you. How do you do that? Because no one else is doing it.
I'm just good at my job. I'll be honest, bro. Like, I came into this thing knowing that it might take me a bit longer, and knowing that I'm gonna do different. Knowing that I'm gonna do things differently than to what everyone else is doing. You know, I haven't followed the system of, okay, cool, you need to go to radio to get on a lineup, or you need to be hosting for a specific one artist to be on this lineup, or I've just realized that I'm Nathan Hector, and I'm good at what I fucking do, and I want to carve out my lane right here and stay in it. Because the sickest thing about creating your own lane, there's no traffic. I know I'm gonna have hurdles, but me, Jem and Fraser, and Nero, and AVTV and Zek and Anthony Axton, we jump over those hurdles, and everyone I've just mentioned has helped me jump over those hurdles. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think I started carving out my own lane and realizing that, like, when I started out, I realized what I didn't want to do, and then figured out what I did want to do and just went and done that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do... Obviously, it's cool to do small shows and XYZ, but I knew exactly where I wanted to go with this. It's not like it's a fluke and I've just magically got here. You know, all the years I was doing shows for free, no one was saying anything then. You know what I mean? But as soon as you start, you know, getting on and then it's, bring me to a show or and I'm just like, don't know about that. You know? And I brand myself differently, content-wise, I market myself differently, you know? My cameraman's here now, AVTV, Abstract Visuals, my brother. But yeah, I don't know, I've just always wanted to do things differently, like just blur the lines a little bit. Yeah. You know, and not do the conventional thing. You know what I'm saying to you? I just, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I wanted to just be different in my own way. And I've done it being myself, and I've done it with those that I came up with. You know, or I'm doing it with those I came up with. And we're just getting started, you know. I think when I realised that I could take this thing far is when we had our first booking in Sweden. We're actually going there tomorrow. But yeah, I had my first booking in Sweden in 2019, October 2019, innit? And I remember the promoter Ab was booking me. It's my brother right now, but I remember him grabbing me before I went on stage. And he was like, bro, look, we don't have hosts here. They're not used to this. So if they don't react the way you want them to, don't feel any kind of way, you know? And I went out there and I fucked it up differently. And he loved me. And it was at that moment I realized, you know what, we could take this thing wherever we fucking want. Because it's all about energy and making sure people have a good time. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And it's all about memories, man. Like, someone's gonna walk away from the concert tomorrow saying, bro, that Nathan Hector guy, he was sick, you know? We want him back. Hence why it's my 5th time there. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's been a long road to get here, but I'm just getting started, man. Like, it's not just a UK thing, this is a global thing. We've been to Toronto, we've been to Cologne, in Germany, we've been to Sweden, we're about to go Brussels, we're about to go Paris, we're about to go back to Toronto. Like, music is a global thing, and so is hosting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about getting on a stage and jumping up and down and making things look cool. It's about actually leaving impact. Like, when I leave all my stresses on that stage, and when I come off, I just hope that I've done a good job, but I just hope that people walk away and say, yeah, like, he was sick. Like, we want him back here. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. And it's not even about the artists at that point. It's about the people that are paid their money to come and have a good time. Because realistically, they're the real stars. Like, they're making sure we get paid. And at the end of the day, you want to put on a good show and leave them with a memory. You know, so every show I do, no matter how, there could be 20 people in the room or 2,000, we turn up the same way, you know? And yeah. I hope I answered your question.
No, you have absolutely answered. It's a very good answer as well. And there was like a particular bit that I kind of wanted to pick out within that answer. When I think you referenced 4 or 5 people that helped you get over hurdles, as you put it.
Yeah.
But I also wondered, on the other hand, how many people tried to create more hurdles for you? And the reason I'm asking that question is because obviously I was going through your Instagram and such, and you had videoed a ZZ Mills clip where she's saying about like, everyone's getting on Nathan Hector about this is just what Drake does and stuff like this, which kind of made me put that together with the hurdles analogy. So how many people have tried to drag you down and create additional hurdles along the journey?
I think I came into this game at 16. I had no blueprint. There's no manual blueprint of how to move in the music industry or the entertainment industry. I've always just done what I felt is right, and I've always stayed true to me. A lot of people, they like to play the game and start buddying up with other people in this game, and I've not done any of that. Do you know what I mean? As much as I'm cool with people, I know who my friends are in my real life. Do you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I've made and connected with and met some great people in this business, and along the way that have become also my friends in my real life. Do you know what I mean? But I'm here with who I started with. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like I've throughout the years of me doing this, I've tried to be cool as I can. I've showed a lot of love, and I feel like a part of me and the niceness in me has always wanted to receive that love back. And then you realise not everyone's got the same heart as you. So when you're in this business and you're being so cool and you're being so supportive of other people's stuff, people in the UK, especially in this urban scene, they do this thing where they think you're begging it, or they think you're clout chasing or XYZ. But then if you don't show love or you don't say anything at all, then you're a hater. So which one is it?
How does that make you feel?
It's just small-minded, man. It's small-minded, bro. You know what I mean? I get shown more love in Toronto and flipping from my people in LA. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Like, people have this crabs in a bucket mentality over here, you know? And I see a lot of people say, yeah, UK is bad vibes. One, it is, and most of the people that say that, they are the bad vibes, you know? I think the UK, we have a sick scene here, but this whole thing of, this person's begging it or that person's begging it, or even what ZZ said in that thing, I didn't really take that serious, if I'm honest, because no one has ever called me a beg to my face, and they will not, because this industry is fake and it's not designed to be real, hence the why it's called entertainment. It's not real. You know what I mean? There's only certain real ones you'll come across in this thing. And again, like, people get into the game, they get clout or whatever you want to call it, or they get on in the game and they amass a certain following, and then your other peers that are maybe on the same level as you, or people that have been doing it longer than you, come and now all of a sudden everyone's friends. But I thought everyone was so how's everyone friends then? It don't make no sense. It makes zero sense, you know. So I just stick to what I know. I do my own thing, and don't get me wrong, I admire what everyone's doing, but I'm just over here with my guys, and that's it, man. You know. Boy, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I've seen the game for what it is, and once you see something for what it is, you act accordingly. And that's it, you know?
Quick one. Our sponsor, the 1994 Collective, are experts in PR and radio plugging. If you're an upcoming urban artist seeking airtime and to scale your audience, drop them a message and let them know we sent you. No, it's powerful, and thank you for giving the insight on it. And it was just a moment that I wanted to pick out, and I thought you would give a really interesting answer, which you did, and I think it's one that a lot of listeners, viewers can take something from as well, so I appreciate the advice and the honesty there. To transition us kind of, I guess, perfectly into the present, so the second section of the conversation, you're obviously multi-talented, multifaceted, as I said right at the beginning. How did you prioritise what you're best at, or potentially what you enjoy the most to get you where you are today? So obviously you're actor, host, How did you prioritise and hone in on that one thing that you wanted to take forward and blow up to the status that it is?
I feel like I was acting for a long time, and it just kind of, everything just kind of slowed down, and I thought, you know what? Right now I'm around way more artists, I know a lot of promoters, I know a lot of artist managers. Let me try this. And the first step is trying. You know, you won't know unless you try. So I tried in 2014 and I failed miserably. I tried to do hosting in 2014, and big up Shan from PDP. Lovely girl from Scotland. She gave me my first ever booking in 2014. And she's always bigged me up for that. But I look back on some of that footage and think, you know what, big up you, Nave, because you actually tried. But it was for me, personally, after that, I knew where I wanted to go with it. But I took a year out, literally, because 2015 was a horrible year for me. And I revisited in 2016, but I attended a bunch of events in 2015. And then realized, you know what? Nave, you've got mad energy, you know, you could do this thing properly. Like the rappers them, but in your own way. You know what I mean? And I kind of said, you know what? Yeah, I just woke up one day, I looked still at my scene. Yeah, it's a bit of me still. I think I'm going to try. And my first show was with an artist called Mo West. Gecko had me. Central C had me very early on. Big up Centr. And yeah, I just kind of just went from there. Literally. And just, I think I realised that my team was completely different to what others was doing. There's always been hosts. There's always been MCs, but no one has done it like me. And I stand on that, you know? And there are other hosts that are respectively doing their thing, you know? Big up I Am Next, Seshi, Mr. I Am Next, that's my brother right there. You know what I'm saying to you? And I guess me and him are at the forefront of this new wave, like this new generation of hosts. You know what I mean? And when we step out, they know what it is. You know what I mean? 110%. You can't not know what it is. You know what I mean? You see me or him on the lineup, it's going up. But I'm the best. And he'll say the same thing. It's like Drake and Shaker. Literally. But yeah, it's dope, man. It's dope. It's good to have some friendly competition as well.
For sure.
And we swing each other bookings here and there. And yeah, man, it's nice. It's nice. I think I started to prioritize hosting when I ended up on tour with Kojo Funds.
Okay.
But my first proper tour was with Gecko. And we was doing the Kojo Funds tour at the same time. So we was on like 2 tours at the same time and just bouncing from city to city. Me and my manager now, Fraser. And yeah, I kind of realized then this is going somewhere else. And then I done my headline show in 2018. And then I toured with D-Block Europe twice. And then I toured with Chip. And then it's it's just been a forever ongoing thing. Like we went Sweden, Toronto, Cologne. It's just kind of just snowballed into this thing of like, they know. Some people act blind, but they know what's going on this side. You know what I mean? And if you want to act blind, that's also fine as well, because the game is the game. But there'll be a moment in time that comes and you won't be able to deny it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get I'm not on radio, and this is no disrespect to those that are on radio, because some of my brethren are on radio and they're fucking great at what they do. Like, I get that I haven't taken the conventional route, but I've taken my own route, and that's something to be respected. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
For sure. I was going to ask you when you're at your happiest within your role, but I think you've kind of already answered that within some of the last sentences that you've given. So I was actually interested to kind of flip the switch and understand from your perspective, what parts of your role do you dislike or hate?
What, as a host or an actor?
As a host.
I hate when promoters try and get me to like take my price all the way down. Like, or they do this thing where they ask me to over promote the event. Like, he puts me to perform. I'm not a promoter. You're the promoter. It's your event. You want me for my services. You promote the event and I'll come and do my job, which you booked me for, innit? You know what I mean? Or there's always some promoter that will try and pay you a deposit and then not pay you the rest of your money. It's just a lot of that. That's probably the bit I hate the most. But I don't have to deal with that no more. I let Fraser and my manager. I got two managers, Fraser and Jem. I let them deal with it, and they're hands on. Them boys, they're hands on. But that's probably it. I'm so easy going. I don't mind. Like, I'm pretty open to working with pretty much anyone, innit? Do you know what I mean? But I'm just like, there's no need for all of that. Like, trying to get me to negotiate. Like, I'm cool with negotiating. We're cool with negotiating on this side, but it's just like, when you're talking about, yeah, we want you for 6 hours for £100, I'm just like, don't know about that. It's like £1 an hour or something, isn't it? £4, £6 an hour. You know, but that's probably the bit I hate the most when promoters try it. But it's very rare it happens with me. And when people waste my time, I hate that. Don't waste my time. Don't ask me for a price and then I'll tell you my price. Oh, that's crazy, man. What? Have you seen my CV? I don't understand when people question me about my price. You know? Another thing I don't like is when other hosts try and block your blessings. I've had that happen to me a couple times. Not block your blessings, but like try and... It's the game, innit? I get it. But don't do that shit with me, because I'll pull you up on it. And I'll pull you up to your face. I don't fucking play that shit. You know, because there's enough to go around for everyone. And if you're smart enough, you'll work from the outside in. You know, if you're smart enough, you'll start looking at venues in Sweden and across Europe. You know, figure it out. It's not just the UK and that's it. Manchester, London and Birmingham, maybe Portsmouth and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much more than the UK, and I'm literally demonstrating it right now. 5th time in Gothenburg, going back to Toronto, we're about to do Brussels, we're about to do Paris. How much more clearer can I be? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole world out there, man, and I'm not, like, I love the UK. UK will always be home, and the latest crowds in London, Manchester and Brighton, period. But there's a lot more than, you know what I mean? And I just want people to realise that I don't fly to these countries and just say, hi, I'm Nathan Hector, how's it going? Like, we're here to fucking do a madness and turn up, you know? So, yeah, man, there's just a lot more out there as well. That we're going to Australia for a month next year. Okay. That's an exclusive. Okay. That's an exclusive. Me and my brother Nero, the DJ, the best DJ in the fucking world. We're going to Australia next year for a month, January, and we're going to tour like all the cities and do club bookings and put on our own shows. And yeah, it's going to be nuts. But like, have you ever seen a UK host do that? Yeah, me neither. It's going to be crazy. And again, I just like demonstrating. It's cool to talk. The doing the talking stuff is cute. That's great. Action. Like, worry about my action. Like, everybody wants to talk so militant, like, but they don't do nothing. Action, bro. That's all I'm about. I just care about the work, man. And I care about the people. And I'm gonna start sounding like a madman. So I'm gonna start talking.
But you said there's a lot more out there. There's a lot there. So if I'd put like a scenario on the line.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we envision that when you're born, you're at 0, whatever, and the top of the mountain is at 100, and the top of the mountain is like your ideal future. From that scale, 0 to 100, and your ideal future is at the 100. Where are you on that scale in a number?
Probably 30.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Probably 30, man.
to transition into the future, what do you need to accomplish in your future to get you that extra 70, to get you to that 100?
More shows, more tours, Wireless, Reading and Leeds and Glastonbury need to book me. There's just certain goals I need to hit, you know, and I have never taken the conventional route, bro. You know what I mean? I haven't buddied up with anyone. I have not got a clique in this industry. I've got a lot of people that I like and I hold close to my heart in the game that I've met, and I'm a fan of most people's stuff, if I'm honest, and I'm loud about it as well. I'm not hiding. Like, I take pride in posting people's stuff and being a fan of people's shit. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm a fan of this shit, you know, and I've just chosen not to take the route that most people have taken. You know, like, I think that there's a new wave of hosts and DJs that also deserve a shot at Wireless and Reading and Leeds, and do you know what I mean? Like, man, I think the festivals need to start looking at who else is out there that's, okay, they might not be on radio, but they've got this going on. How can we involve them in, you know what I mean? You know, so that's just my take on it. And that's no disrespect, again, that's no disrespect to anyone that's on radio, like Capital or BBC One Extra or anything like that. But there's also other hosts and other DJs that are also mashing it up on the streets and on the underground that also deserve the opportunities to be on these festivals and be on these lineups. You know, and that's who I mostly do it for. You know, the underdog. Yeah.
How high up your list of priorities for the future is a family?
Oh, like having kids? Boy, you know. Hey, AV, record this one here. But
yeah. So how high up your list of priorities is having a family?
It is high, but not that high, man. I've always just had this thing of, I love my space and I love my work and I'm dedicated to what I'm doing, you know. And that doesn't mean that I'm dismissing having kids or having a wife or XYZ. It just means that I'm locked in on myself right now. And yeah, I guess life will be life and it will happen when it will happen. And that's something you can't force that. It's just something you cannot force. It just needs to happen when it happens, you know?
You said having a wife, and this is actually one of the bits that I wanted to ask you on from like this is
Here
just
we
like
go.
no, this is just out of interest more than anything. This is actually something that I feel quite strongly about. But marriage as a concept, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, if you want to get married, innit? But just don't wear all white when you're getting down on one knee, you get me? Look, people believe in different things. Do I believe in marriage? Yes. To some people, no. But just because I believe in marriage, it doesn't mean I want it right now.
Why do you believe in marriage?
Maybe because a lot of people I've watched a lot of people in my family get married, and all those marriages have lasted my whole life, literally. Like, I think by the time I was born, my Uncle Derek and my Auntie Rose were already married, and they're the only people that they've been with. Like, my Uncle Jerry and my Auntie Stella, they got married when I was about 5 or 6. They're still married. My Uncle Wayne and my Auntie Jazz, they got married when I was like 7, maybe 6 or 7, or something like that. But they're still married. You You know, so I've had my Uncle Simon and his wife Tess, my auntie Tessa, they got married like, they've been together for years, but they only got married like 5-6 years ago, but they're still married.
So to you, it's a signal of eternity.
I've had more than 3 clear indications that, this marriage thing can work. You know? And I've had friends that have got married as well. I've been invited to a wedding this year in July, so yeah, man. Yeah, I think marriage is definitely on the cards. Just gotta make sure I find the right one and X, Y, Z. But you know, just life will be life. And for now, I'm living for me and what I'm doing with the boys. And yeah.
I think that's almost the perfect place to tie things up. But I wanted to ask you one final question on success and something potentially that you can look back on in the future and say, I've achieved this. As a final point, what is your definition of success?
Being happy, man. Being happy. Seeing my mum and my nan and my family happy. Doing shit that I love, that I'm doing with my friends. And everything else that comes in this life is a bonus. You know? Like, all the financials is a byproduct of the hard work that we put in. Maybe the cars and the houses that are yet to come are, again, a byproduct of the grind we put in year after year after year after year. Because you don't just put in all the work we're doing and nothing happens. So it's coming. It's just a matter of when. You know what I mean? But time is ticking. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that everything will happen when it's due to happen. You know, and I'm here for the now. You know, I don't worry about yesterday. I don't worry about today because we're living in this moment right now. Yeah.
It's powerful, and it is a very good place to end. So I'll call it there, but not before asking you, who do you nominate to come and sit across the desk from me and to have a past, present, future conversation?
I nominate my brother Adam Mark Jordan. Dope guy from Liverpool. We connected about 2 years ago. He's become one of my really good friends. Social media guru. Traveled the world. The guy's just incredible, man. You need to get him on here still. So Adam, I'm nominating you, brother. And yeah, man.
Let's get it. How have you found it?
Bro, incredible, man. One of the best podcasts I've done. No, in fact, fuck that. The best podcast I've done. Yeah, man, for sure. Past, present, future, baby.
Come on, bro.
You already know, 2022.
Thank you, bro.
My guy, thanks for having me, bro.
No, thank you.
Appreciate you.